Yes, my people, I don't come again to update our mindset. Today, I get to vital update. This vital update, now the things when they go on concerning for Gabon. But right now, I want to bring up the first video. The first video now the waiting, then see what and what when they find out for the son of Gabon president now when they seize, when military seize take over, so which is Ali Bongo, his son. When security personnel break into his house, my brothers and sisters, if una see wetin dem see for these guys, for this man house, and then I go know say yes, this man with his family, they don turn Gabon to family business. In the sense that there are so many allegations in fact, there are so many things they see for this guy. They even find out say yes, this his son, they forge in his own signature. So if you feel forge your father's signature, that means you get access to withdraw money from any bank at all. So when they see this money, so that's not what they see for in house. But right now, I want to bring up the video. When I watch them, as soon as they watch them, make sure say you go like, comment, and share. When I watch them, then I will come back with the next update.
Look at all the millions, if not billions, found by security agents when they searched the former president Ali Bongo's son's apartment. What is he doing with all these billions? What is he doing with all these billions in raw cash? The military authorities who took over power, led by this general, have decided to charge him for treason, money laundering, narcotics trafficking, and even forgery of the president's signature. Who knows, maybe he forged signature of his father and went and withdrew money from their central bank. Who knows, but what is he doing with all this cash when a third of Gabonese are poor? They don't know where their next meal will come from. It's very unfair for the son of the president to be living this kind of lifestyle. He doesn't even know what to do with the money, just awash with money. It's obvious they are laundering this money to Paris. According to an investigation by a judge, they have traced many properties to the Ali Bongo family. So what it means is that they steal money from Gabon and launder it to Europe, especially Paris, and buy up properties that helps in developing the European country, while the place the money comes from continues to suffer. So what it means is that even the leadership don't even believe in their own country. They prefer to invest money in properties in Europe, in France, than to invest in their own country. Also, some of these monies are kickbacks from oil companies operating in their country. Of course, they are French companies, Total and Elf. So this is the problem. When leaders work for other countries instead of working for their own, they become a security risk to their own country. They will never allow their own country to develop, because if it develops, the people will become aware they can no longer steal money the way they steal. So it's just a cycle. After more than 50 years in power, there's no single development that Gabonese can be proud of. Instead, the leadership is busy developing another man's country. And France, of course, investment is coming to their country. They won't say anything. They won't criticize them. We'll bring you more updates immediately we get them. Thanks for watching.
Yes, my people. I don't want to finish, Abi. That now the things when I find out from Ali Bongo's son's house. So right now, after what do you feel say? Is it right for only one person? Not be say you don't get any political hierarchy, you don't get any tangible work when they give you that kind of source of money. So automatically, this guy now with his family, then they into money laundering. So if there's anything when you think from your mind, drop off a comment section so that we go discuss them and come up with the final conclusion. That is the first video. Then this final video now be the okapatapata of them all. This video, me, at times when I watch this video, I can't think, why is it that why is it that any African leaders, not even leaders, not even politicians at all, not only the politicians now, Not only the politicians, this thing they happen to. Why is it that any African person, when he be say yes, they just give am power, or he just get opportunity to get power? Then they abuse the power. Then they abuse them in the sense that everybody when they around, they go no say yes, this is abusement of power. Then they raise hand. If you see the impunity when they get, when they don't give them that power, and this is not the end for only politicians. Even they go down to churches. Yes, now down to churches. If you see the way when they raise hand, the impunity, the effrontery, once they get the power in form of authority, man, any other person na counterfeit. Una sweat they happen for F-16 and for Abuja now. When it be say, they just give Wike Minister of Works. The plan when they come up with now, even the stakeholders for PDP, when it be say 9 from they come, then they kick against his own suggestion. Say yes, he want demolish buildings for Abuja. Then they kick against it. They say yes, Wike they come for to oppress the stakeholders of PDP. Now that they talk now for Wike issue. So right now, what maybe they bring up this video concerning the abusement of power for African leaders. Now what's happened concerning this same president of Gabon when military seized now for 2018. For 2018, he got one question when he interview when he grant. When one lawyer, when they ask one strong question, if you see question when they ask, and this thing happened about 2018, very far ago. Then he still be president that time. He want turn the president for life. He want turn it to lifetime something for just him and his family. So when they answer the question, if you now see the impunity, the effrontery, when this matter answer the question, I don't go know what they talk about. But meanwhile, I don't want to talk. I want to bring up the video. Now make una see how Ali Bongo they answer the question when they answer 2018. Then you go know what they talk about with abusement of power with African leaders. And as they bring up the video, they watch them. I beg you in the name of God, make sure say you go like, comment, and share. So people whenever see them, they go see them and see what thing they go on and see the reason why these military leaders don't they plan this coup for a very long time for Gabon. They won't take over this presidential seat because why? Ali Bongo and family, they turn into family business. So right now, watch the video by yourself.
Was sitting for fireside chat at the Side Business School in Oxford University in October 2018. This video is now trending again because, of course, what's happening in Gabon. He was asked a question about term limits in Africa. So here's the question.
My question relates to the question of democracy within your own country and on our continent more generally. Being at an institution of educational excellence, one of the core theses of democracy is that term limits are one of the key ingredients to ensuring that a democracy thrives. And that is a principle that is seen within the Constitutive Act of the African Union, for example. And yet, for all the progressive reforms that you've introduced economically, some of the, in my view, regressive reforms is to remove term limits for presidents in your country. Do you agree with the thesis? If so, why did you introduce the term limits?
What you say, it all sounds nice. But it doesn't work like that. First thing, I did not remove term limits. I did not. And we don't have term limits. Term limits, I would say, frankly, that sounds sexy, but it ain't working. Because when you go into your second term, you no longer have any authority because people know that you're leaving. And your second term is a completely loss, because it starts problems for your succession, and people within your own party, and they start, fighting, and no one listens to you anymore. And we've discussed that, with various African leaders, and they all conclude to the same. Now, why is it still applied? It's because some African leaders think that, it's going to please you guys here. That's why they do it. But they really don't believe in it, because on the ground, they see the difficulty, And so I don't believe that, term limits, improve, democracy. I don't believe in that, and we've seen that, in many cases in Africa. That's not really. you need a certain time to apply your program. And that's not done, in a country where you have term limits. For instance, once you're elected, if you're completely new, the first 2 years are going to be kind of bumpy for you to apply, and start applying your policy. And then as you start implementing, you have to think of your re-election. And that means that if you have tough measures, to apply.
Words on marble by President Ali Bongo in 2018. 5 years, or how many years later? Yeah, 5 years later. We are going back, you're revisiting that video where he says term limits don't work in Africa. Rufai, what do you think?
For me, you know what made me cringe is the reflection of how warped his mindset is. And these are the mindset of African leaders, so a lot of them have very warped mindsets. He's talking about re-election. Why doesn't he say that re-election should be based on the performance of the leader in the first place? Why do you need 2 terms if you can achieve what you said to achieve? Term limits. Are you going to be there forever in the first place? Are you not there at the mercy of the people? So why are you concerned about re-election? Is it a must you must come in? If the people say they don't want you, then you go. But you see, that's what the leaders do. They build all sorts of very terrible mindsets. They don't allow the institutions work. They become strong men as against having strong institutions. So they suppress everybody possible and they want to perpetuate themselves in power. And that's why you are having all these coups going on. I mean, while Dr. Abati was talking of all the leaders that perpetrated them, another man is close to him, the Sassou Nguesso.
Yeah. Okay.
Our too has been around for a while. The Yedema family too has been around for. What did he want to do in 14 years? He kept on rigging and putting himself in power and doing all sorts. Now you're saying term limit ain't sexy. Who sent him American things? Anyway, by the way, he's also a musician. He released a track record in the 70s. Tries to do funk and blues. Term limit ain't sexy. My brother, term limit is sexy. It's lovely. It's great. That's why we have a democracy. The greatest power should be with the people. And that's why the people should come out and like Thomas Sankara and say, "Abba," with all these leaders. Can you imagine the effrontery to justify it? And he's doing Barry White's voice. Term limit ain't sexy. What nonsense are our leaders spewing? He's talking about second term. What nonsense. And that's why I was happy that everybody fought out a very nefarious third-term agenda in this country. What are we doing with ourselves?
All right, well, talking about this country, thank you. Let's come back home to Nigeria. So we've seen the Gabon incident and it's still developing. We're still watching things unfold.